Hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions.com. Today we'll discuss about loading metadata. We'll be taking a case scenario in this for the purpose of loading metadata. Under this we'll be discussing variety of metadata loading tools and techniques, including classic method, dimension editor, smart view, bulk loading, EPM automate, and data management. So to define metadata, it is a structured set of reference data or informations that helps to identify and sort other information attributes like origin, meaning, locations, etc. So when you see these dimensions, accounts, currency, entity, period, all these headings over here, this is basically the information. This gives the information about the data to be loaded. So this is called as metadata. Now we will be discussing case of Bank of Rwanda. So this Bank of Rwanda is expanding its operations into new region, that is Asia Pacific, and it needs to update its PBCS environment to include this new regional entity. Right now we do not have any entities over here related with Asia Pacific. So the objective of this bank is to first incorporate the new Asia Pacific region into the current entity structure, then update hierarchies and dimensions to ensure that the new entity is reflected in all relevant hierarchies and dimensions, and also to ensure that the new entity is correctly integrated into all planning and reporting processes. So as the business changes and grows over time, products, accounts, entities, employees, these need to be added to the metadata structure in order to capture and report the data accurately. Now the Bank of Rwanda is expanding its operations in new region, so there is a need here to add those regions in the entity dimension. So let's see by all the methods we can do this. Now here the first and foremost step is to gather information. Obtain details about the new entity, including its name, parent entity, and any relevant attributes. This is the first and foremost step to be done. So this is, you can see, this is how the file comes. This is basically a data file, but you can see metadata columns over here. So this is a a simple Excel information provided in Excel. This is very haphazard. It needs massaging to be done, and it has to be properly arranged in the format that is required for metadata import. So such kind of file is first transferred into this sort of format, where you will find the headers as entity, parent, alias default. Then these are all the properties that in the earlier sessions, when I was telling you about the properties of account, of entity, scenario, version, so these were the headings. All those headings will be put into a CSV file, and we have to fill those headings over here. So this is the first method of bulk loading, where we create a file, where we prepare an Excel or CSV file with the new entity information. You can see this is the heading, where we have plan type, we have aggregation, we have data storage, then we have formula, the base currency. So the entire properties which were there in the application, we have put it all of them here in the CSV format. Then the data has to be arranged properly. So you can see these are the regions. This is the name, member name. This is the parent. Similarly, here there is alias, and then this is data storage, and then further on we have 2-pass calculation. False means this is not enabled, and true means this is enabled. So according to the data type, metadata type, we going to, according to this information provided by the bank. The file has come from bank, and this is being the metadata. This is first arranged in a proper structure, and now we are loading it. So okay, first step is basically to obtain these all details and then arrange it according to the format, according to this format. Now I have logged in to the application as administrator, and we'll go to application, then we'll go to overview. Here we'll click on dimensions. Now we are updating the entities. So you're going to select the entity, and we'll click on import, and then here on create. Now this is the entity. We are going to browse the file. When we choose local, we will be uploading the file from the system. In case we choose inbox, then first we upload the file over here, and then when we browse, we can straight away upload the file from the inbox. So we have loaded the file over here. The Excel file, or it could be the Excel file in the CSV format. Then validate metadata job successfully. So we have submitted for validation, and now we'll click on import. We want the database to be refreshed, so I'm clicking here. So once the import of metadata finishes, the job it will also refresh the metadata. Now we will close this, and we will go to jobs, and here we can see that the status, it has been validated. The metadata file, this is complete, and import metadata job, this is also complete, and refresh database, this is also completed. Now I will show you the entity dimension. So we have loaded under total entity. We have loaded the Asia Pacific. You can see here the alias. This is Asia Pacific, and then it has further descendants, the countries in Asia Pacific. I have loaded these 4 new entities where the bank is expanding its business. So this we have loaded through bulk loading method. Now in the classic method, the next method, we're going to add the entities from here itself. So this is to add child, and this is to add the sibling. Okay, this is the member name is E_105, alias is Singapore, base currency USD, and data storage is store, and we are not enabling 2-pass calculation over here. Plan 1 is addition. We have to check in the member formula, data storage is also store, and save this. So this has been added, and then we will refresh the database. So you can see here E101 to E104 we've added through the import of CSV file. Second, this E_105 we have added manually from here itself through the classic method. Then let's see how do we do dimension editor. Here in the application, go to overview, click on dimensions and select the dimension you have to edit. When you drill down this total entity, you will get all the entities that we have added. So here we can add the metadata from here itself. Either if you choose this option, this will be adding child to 105, and this is adding sibling to 105. We have to add one member, so I'll click on this, apply. Now here we'll fill the details. The data storage property will be store, and here we will give the alias, and then click on save. So this has been added. Cancel this. And then under action, you click on refresh database. Click on create, and this is, I'm enabling it for all users, and here I'm not saving it as a job, I'm doing it right now. So here I will click on refresh database. Whenever you add or make any changes in the metadata, you have to perform this task of refreshing the database. So this is done. Okay. Now let's do it by Smart View, with the help of Smart View. I'm taking a fresh new Excel file over here. Go to Smart View. And here type the URL. Once you click on the URL, so this is the URL, you can see I'm working on. The name of the application is FPA. Under this I'll get this dimensions, and I'll click on entity because this is what I'm editing, and then we will click on edit dimension. So you see here the properties, if you remember the same properties, parent, member, default data storage, data type, this is what we have added in the CSV file also. So we have got here, and by double clicking this we can drill it down. Then under total entity, we have already entered all these regions. You can see this is the region Asia Pacific. The bank is expanding the business in this territory, and here we have already added following countries. Let's add one through Smart View. Now the parent is E_100. The data storage property is store. Data type is not specified. plan 1 we're going to choose, and the consolidation operator here would be addition. Then FPA cube, this is not used for this FPA cube, so that's what I'm going to fill over here. We will ignore this OEP underscore CPX cube. Base currency is USD, and alias is basically the name of this member. This is Thailand country we have added. After filling all this information, go to Smart View and submit data. Now we are back to the application, and here I'll open the dimension and show you the one that we have entered through Smart View. First we have to refresh the database. Select entity and the cube. We'll drill down the total entity under E underscore 100. This is the parent entity. Here you can see we have added this E underscore 107 Thailand we have added through Smart View. Now we can also add metadata. We can import metadata through data management. For that, first we have to register the source and the target system. So we'll go to data exchange. Under action, click on applications and click on this icon, and first we will create the data source. So the type is file. I am loading it through in the format of CSV file. So this is my metadata file. I've given the name as meta file. Okay, this is done. Next we will register the target. So this is EPM local. Application is FPA, and here the input cube is the plan 1. So this application already exists, so we're going to pick from there itself. Now I've created a new one. This is the one that I have created. Okay, now that we have created the source and the target over here, we'll close this. And we will go to data integration, data management, to create the import format. So here this is the setup tab. And click on this add. I'm giving the name as demo import format. This has to be the relevant name with respect to the metadata that we are loading with respect to the requirements of the organization. Then the source system is the file. Now I will show you the type. This would be file type is delimited, all data type. So you can see this is the file that I'm going to load. So here this is the member name. We have loaded 7 entities, 7 countries in the Asia Pacific region. We are loading further 3 more countries. So this is parent, these are the alias, and this is the data storage property. Now this is entity that we are loading. So once we create in the target, when we create the target in data exchange for loading metadata, we get all these dimensions. So for whichever dimension we are loading, we're going to select that target, and I will save the format. Here we have to provide the structure of the file that we are loading. So in the first column I have the member name or entity. So this entity here, this is in the first column. Second column I have the parent. Here I have the alias default in the third. and the fourth column is data storage. Okay, now save the format. Then we'll create the location. Attach the import format that we have just created. So here you get the target 1 FPA entity. And save this. Now under the workflow tab we're going to provide data load mapping. So here location is demo LOC. We have chosen the period and the category current over here. We'll provide mapping. We'll do like mapping, which is star to star. So this is for the alias. We have provided the mapping. Save this. Next, data storage. Then for entity again, we'll provide like mapping. This would be star to star mapping. And lastly is the parent. Once you finish the data load mapping, create the data load rule. Click on add icon and provide the name. So category is current. Select the import format and save this. Now this is the CSV file that we're going to load. Upload the file in the browser here. Select that file and save. Now let's execute the metadata load. we're going to import from source and export to the target. Start and end period I have taken September 24 and import mode is replace. Please wait for like couple of minutes while the metadata gets loaded. Let's go to data load workbench. Here you find we have added 3 entities. Okay, so you can see here these are the members, and this is the data storage property, and this is the alias. So this has been loaded. Let's go into the dimensions and check these entities over there. So first I am refreshing the database. So you can see these are the entities that we have loaded. So the bank is now it has successfully integrated the Asia Pacific region into this PBCS environment, and this new entity is correctly placed within the entity hierarchy, and all relevant attributes are updated. So this entity Asia Pacific, the parent and its descendants, the countries under this region, is now included in financial planning and reporting, allowing Bank of Rwanda to accurately reflect its expanded operations in Asia Pacific region. That's it for today. If you have any queries, you may write into www.bispsolutions.com.